Welcome to Healing from A to Z with Masterful You and KB. Hi, I'm Chris Burke, and today we're talking about the beauty myth. That's one of the big B's, especially for those of us who are over 50 years old, where we may have learned early in life that our appearance mattered a lot, that was our value that we had to add, that in order for people to know that we were valuable, we had to look valuable on the outside. And so we may have spent a lot of time and energy and money and effort focusing on our appearance and constantly trying to improve the way that we look to ourselves and the way that we look to other people, because that mattered so much in our society and in our own minds. And then as we get older, we start to learn through experience that we're going to change. How we look is going to change. And if we have a conception of beauty, which many people do in the world, that it's a particular look or it's a particular size or it's a particular age, youth, if it's got characteristics that you're going to pass through in a relatively short period of time, then that's suggesting that no matter what you do, you're going to lose the thing that mattered so much. And so what I'm inviting us to do is to focus much more on our experience, much less on the way we think we look to others. Because I will tell you that the more you are at peace, the more you carry wisdom, the more you carry kindness and respect in your heart, and the more you care about yourself and treat yourself with love, the more attractive you become to the world, the more beautiful you become. But it's not about the surface, right? It shows through on the surface. People can see joy. People can sense joy in someone. They can tell when someone has love for themselves and is generously sharing that with other people. But when we think that our beauty is what we see in the mirror, we're in trouble, because eventually we will lose that, and it will change. Absolutely. And so let's focus on what it is that you think makes you beautiful. And I'm going to invite you to jump into this exercise and to write down 3 things about yourself that you know are beautiful that don't have anything to do with your appearance. Take your time, turn off the video if you need to. What's beautiful about you? Is it your kindness? Is it your generosity, your compassion, your willingness to listen, your friendship, your devotion? What are those things? Just write down 3. You could always come back to the list later and make it really long and beautiful. And then write down 3 things that you think are not beautiful about you. And those things that are not beautiful, I would invite you to write down physical things. Just because that is kind of the society we live in, that surface level. So let's look at it. I'm always saying, if you want to go from Boston to LA, if you want to go from an experience you don't enjoy to an experience you do enjoy, we actually have to get where we're to the starting point, right? We would actually have to go to Boston to go from Boston to LA. We can't be wherever we are and just say, if I were there, then I would make this journey. We have to get real about where we are in our experience. All right, now I'm going to invite you to write down a number from 1 to 10 on the compass. We're going to say, if 1 is I can't get out of bed because I'm so upset about my beauty or perceived lack thereof, and a 10 is I know that I am a perfect expression of who I am and where I am in my journey. Where are you right now today? This is an intuitive question. You're asking your intuition, where am I? Boom, the answer is going to come up. Whatever comes up, write it down. Okay. This is our starting point. Then when you look at what you've written down about beauty or your perceived lack thereof, make a circle around that. This is the universe that is related to, or the experience that is related to your starting experience. A lot of times that's a 2, 3, 4, right? That's when we decide to do something about it. Okay, so now we're going to go through the next step, which is to write down at a 3 or whatever your starting number is. At my starting number, my experience is that I think, I feel, I say and do, I sense in my body, actually scanning our bodies, where do I feel tension, where do I feel anything that gets my attention, just write it down. And what do I know? What do I know about my experience where I am? For example, when I first turned 50 and I noticed that I'd become somewhat invisible in the world, right? My experience was pretty bad. It was like, whoa, nobody told me that one day people were just going to stop paying attention to me or start noticing me, seriously, standing in line at a coffee shop. And I would talk to my 50-something friends about the fact that, wow, we're standing in line and it's like we're invisible. Because all of a sudden we've changed from, this idea of who the vital contributing member of society is to people who actually have more experience and wisdom at this point. But that was not really well regarded in our society. And so it's important that we change that for all of us, because all of us will walk through this journey. All of us, if we, God willing, will walk through the journey of aging and as a process. And there's really no reason for us to be sidelined when our value has actually increased incredibly. But we need to connect with that inner beauty, and we need to shine that in the outside world and share that with one another. Okay, now, where are we going? So if you're currently at a whatever number, a 3, let's say, where are you going to take your experience? It might be, you might say, I want to take it to a 7, an 8, whatever that is, something that feels achievable. I encourage you not to say 10, because as you approach 10, you will realize that 10 goes further and further away. There is no end to how much more joy you can hold in your life, how much more awareness of your own beauty. And let me tell you, when you can see your own beauty, when you can see the truth of it, you will also be seeing the truth of the beauty in other people around you. The way we perceive ourselves, the way we treat ourselves, is the way that we perceive and treat others, because that becomes our way, right? So at a 3 or whatever number you're at right now, you have a way of talking to yourself, you have a way of feeling, you have a way of treating people. When you have access to certain knowledge, as you improve that experience, that changes. You have access to more wisdom, more knowledge, higher level thoughts, more optimistic thoughts that make you feel better about being you. More truthful, I dare say. Okay, so when you've picked that number where you're going to go through the same process and say, at this number, at a 7, at an 8, I will think, I will feel, I will say and do, I will sense in my body, and I will know. Really sink into that experience and just imagine what's going to be different in each of those categories. What's going to be happening there? Remember, this is the conscious mind. This is the part of you that you're aware of, the tip of the iceberg, as Freud would say. Asking your unconscious, which is everything else that we don't have access to until we specifically ask for it. Asking those unconscious parts of ourselves to give us guidance, help us to paint a picture of where we're going. So you can ask, how will my experience be different? And then finally, we're going to ask another question of, what do I need to know or do in order to make progress on this journey? Somebody might recommend that you read a book. You might see a post on YouTube that answers exactly the question you need for the next step. What you're looking for is something that lights you up, that makes you say, your curiosity, kind of like, oh, I wonder what would happen if I did that. Somebody might say, hey, would you do an energy healing session? You know, maybe they're studying for a class or a certification and they ask you. Start saying yes to those things that are healing related. They're about helping you to process old energy. We've all got these old stories of not being enough. All of us do, right? When you see somebody walking along who looks just absolutely perfect on the outside, you can be sure that they feel very insecure on the inside, because only people who are very insecure on the inside put that much effort into looking that way on the outside. I know, because I was one of them. And because I had a lot of friends, and because it's all about the masks that we wear. Okay, so if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Submit questions and comments below this video, and then tune in on Friday when my colleague and dear friend Judy Forder and I will do live Q&A for this week's topic. Each week we do this on Fridays at 11 on YouTube. And go to masterfulyou.com, masterfulyou, the letter, .com for more information. And we have lots of resources up there. We've got a workbook. We've got this exercise that you can apply to other places. We've got some ebooks, other fun things. And yeah, everything that's there at Masterful You is about supporting you on your journey. This is ultimately about your journey from an experience that you're saying, I don't really feel like that's good enough for me. Good for you. To an experience where you say, yeah, I don't need to be afraid of life happening anymore, because I understand my value. I understand the essence of who I am. And you're able to fall in love with that. I mean, because it is the essence of love. It's the absence of fear, right? That's what we're all shooting for. We're all on this life journey to learn how to process all of our fear and get into a place of love. And it's so worth the journey. So thank you for being here with me today. And thank you for being you.